Hey everyone, hope you're doing well and welcome to The Loft. Now today we're not going to spend very long, but we're going to be jumping straight in, not wasting any time, and looking at my dividend investing portfolio and see what's changed over the last week. So, looking across to the portfolio value, we can see that there have been a change. With last week we had a value of £3,062 with a return of 13.9%, working out to be around £374 in profit. Through the week, if we work through the entire week, we can see that we did have ups and downs, dropping down to around 12.5% in return, before picking back up slightly and finishing the week at a percentage return of 13.3%, a final value of £3,044, so around £357 in return. This means that over the last week, I have seen a drop of around 0.6%, and if we compare this to the VOO ETF, which has gone up around 0.4%. Overall, I'm roughly down around 1% compared to the VOO. Here, I would normally jump into my purchases and see what's gone on over the last week, but unfortunately this week I have made no purchases. Normally, I try to add a little bit of money every single week to the portfolio to carry on buying stocks, though unfortunately I have an MOT due this Saturday coming, so that's kind of put a halt on some of the expenses this month, until I've worked out how much it's going to cost if it needs any repairs. So don't worry, I will let you know about that next week once I know what's going on. But it is nice to know that I have got this portfolio. If for some reason my MOT charges are extremely high, I don't have to get into debt to be able to afford this. If it goes beyond my emergency cash reserves, I can just use my cash reserves, and if it does cost more than that, I can liquidate a portion of my portfolio, though obviously that is the last option. I don't really want to be doing that where possible, because my intention here is to grow this portfolio to a larger amount and hopefully see larger dividends coming in month to month. Speaking of dividends, let's jump across, because dividends this week have been a bit more interesting and a bit more active. And we start on the 5th with the first payment coming from Broadcom. Broadcom sent over a total 22p, and that was for me holding 0.1 of a share. Broadcom is a company that I would like to increase my position in if possible, but I do need to look at their finances again and come up with what price I would be willing to pay, and then obviously hope that they fall to that price if they're not already there. Following on from that, we had some more payments, with the next one coming across in a payment of 66p from Pepsi, and then that was for holding one full share. Then we had PPL, who came in with a payment of 72p, and that was for holding a total of 7 shares. And then rounding off the entire day, we had Eastman Chemicals. They sent across a total payment of 8 pennies, and this was for me holding 0.2 of a share. This was then followed by Coca-Cola on the 6th, where we received a total payment of 90p for holding 3.5 shares. And then on the 7th, we had one payment come in from Bunzl, with a payment of 77p for holding a total of 2 shares. Then rounding off the entire week, we did have a payment from good old Games Workshop, with a total dividend of 75p for the 1.5 shares that I hold. And this way it brings me to a total of £4.01 in regards to dividends for the whole week, which is nearly halfway to the actual target for this entire month. So hopefully next week is going to be just as exciting, and we're going to get just as many payments, and then we'll hopefully smash the dividend target for the month. For fun and transparency, let's jump into the biggest changes over the last week and see what's changed most in regards to ups and downs. Though looking at the decrease in the portfolio value, I imagine a fair bit of this is going to be in the downward direction. So to build a little bit of suspense, let's start with the growers. And here we can see that the largest grower is actually Apple, who have seen an increase of around 3.6%. This was then followed by Stag Industrial with an increase of 3.4%, and Broadcom, who we mentioned earlier, with a slightly lower 2.5% increase over the last week. Now jumping over to the list that is probably a little bit longer, and in regards to the downward trends, we can see that last week the biggest change came from Cineworld, who are down around 5%, though some of this may actually be for Monday morning due to when I took the screenshot of that change. So some of that downward trend may have been from the early morning trading for Cineworld, but on an average it's dropped around 5%. This was then followed by Exxon, who dropped 3% last week, and then Carnival, who dropped 2.7%. So that's it for today. I will be going through next week and showing you what company has made me the most money and lost me the most money, but they don't change that regularly, so I thought I'd do them every single other week. So we'll do 1 week where we're looking at what's changed the most and 1 week looking at what's made me the most. If you have any suggestions on what you want to see included in these videos, as always, let me know down in the comments. So that's it for today. If you're interested in this video, which YouTube in its infinite wisdom believes that you are, I would suggest clicking that, seeing what it is. Not a clue what it's going to be, but I hope you enjoy it regardless. And until next time, remember to invest, save, and subscribe.